Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to create a Christmas light show, and we're going to run through this pretty quickly and we're going to cover a lot, and here we go. Okay, so the first thing you're going to decide is whether you want to have snow on your lawn or you want to let it be green. For this, we'll go ahead and add the snow. So I will go into materials, go into ground, click either one of these two snows, touch it, and then simply click on the grass. When you're all done, just go ahead and press escape and the mouse changes back. Okay, next we're going to talk about the libraries that we have at our disposal. We have Christmas Lights 1 and Christmas Lights 2 as part of the basic pack. Christmas Lights 1 is really just these colored floodlights and this little kind of flame thing for special effects. And Christmas Lights 2 is where you keep all the C3s, the C9 lights, and icicle lights. So you can pick anything from there you want. Now the second library is the Christmas Lights library, and this is where all the models are. This would be placed in your lawn. So once again, this is for the lawn, and basic Christmas Lights 2 are actually all your string lights. Okay, and the way that this works is every sequence has a set of channels, and you basically just pick the channel you want, you add the lights or the lawn art, and it automatically assigns it to that channel. And then when the music plays, it'll trigger the light for that particular channel, and you have a complete show. It looks really nice. So we're going to go through this real quick. I'm going to work from top down. Basically, vocals are, as it suggests, the different vocal tracks. Sometimes there's none, like I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas doesn't have any vocal sequencing. It just is kind of a bunch of effects for the surrounding lights. And like for this one, it's What Child Is This has one vocal track, and then Do You Want to Build a Snowman has two vocal tracks, one for Anna and Elsa. And so it just depends. I would recommend that what you should do is experiment with these lights. Go through the different channels, because every house is different, every sequence is different. Just drop in different lights for different channels and see what's being played, see how they work. Usually when they're in a row like this, middle 1 through 5, the sequence is probably going to do something like move from right to left or front to back. So it's a good idea to kind of string these along in a row, and I'll show you an example of that. But other than that, just experiment, and you could put back channels on the house, you could put front channels in the house, you can mix them up any way you want to. There's almost infinite varieties of light shows you can create. Okay, so I'm going to work through this real quick. Also, the controls are basically the same as Unreal Editor controls. You can go into your tutorials button here, you can click on controls, and then you can go through the tutorial to learn the controls. It's basically WASD right here, and then you use your mouse wheel to speed up or slow down while you're holding down WASD. And I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can do stuff like that. Okay, and then you use your right mouse button to change the orientation. So that's basically it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to start building. So I'm going to click on Vocal 1. I'm going to go into the Christmas lights, and I'm going to grab this angel. And the first thing you want to do is orient the object so that it's facing forward, because all the lights are on one side, and there's no point in putting much lights on the back, and we're trying to make this run at a high frame rate. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold down the Alt. So right now the object is stuck to my mouse until I left click and release it. So you position it where you want it, you hold down the Alt key, hold down left mouse button and drag, and it will rotate it, and you can see the number of degrees. So everything is going to be, either because this is a square block, it's either going to be 90, 180, 270, or 0. This house faces in this particular direction, so everything's always going to be 180. So I spin it around. So remember, Alt, left mouse, drag, changes the rotation, and then if you want to scale it, it's left mouse drag, but just don't hold down Alt. You can scale it just like that. Okay, so now you can see it's stuck to my mouse. I just left click and it drops it. So now that angel will fire when Vocals 1 is done. So now I'm going to start working on the front row. We're going to go front left 1 through 6 and front right 1 through 6. And that's kind of designed to be taken from the middle and go front left 1 through 6, and then fan out towards the right, front right 1 through 6. So I'm going to do that quickly. So here I grab the lollipop. I'm going to hold down Alt, drag, spin it around so that it's 180, and then I'm going to let go of Alt and then drag again and move it around. So it's actually on the wrong sequence track right now. It's still on Vocals 1. I haven't changed it yet, so I'm going to press Escape. If you ever want to abandon something, just go ahead and press Escape, and then I'm going to click front left 1, and then I'm going to do that again. There we go. Spin it around to 180, scale it up a little bit, and drop it. Okay, now if you ever want to move something, just single click on it and drag any one of these transform nodes. You can move it to the right, left, up, or down. If you want to, let's say you had a hedge in the way and you wanted to move it like across, you can see it's going to hop onto that hedge. See that? Because it tries to always be on top of everything. So if you ever want to override that, hold down Control and it'll lock its vertical, so it'll never hop on top of things. So you can even go right through the house like that. Otherwise, it'll try to stay on top of all the mesh geometry. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this. You can touch an object. Oh, so not only can you move the object like this, but if you press spacebar, it'll select the rotation gizmo, and you just touch where you want, and it'll spin it around. And then press spacebar again, and then you can move it anywhere you want. And when you're all, if you want to get rid of it, just press the delete key. Okay, so we are going to do, now that we've got all that covered, we're going to go ahead and lay out all these lollipops. Hold down Alt, rotate it, drag it up a little bit, go. And now I'm going to go through every one of these and lay them all out. Okay, now I finished the left row. Now I'm going to start on the right row. So I'll click on front right 1. Go ahead and put that right there. It remembers the scaling and the rotation from last time. Front right 2. And then I'll just go ahead and finish these. Okay, I went ahead and did that off recording, finished them all. This is front left 1 through 6, and I did front right 1 through 6. So that's all done. Now we're going to lay out these. These are some floodlights for the ground. I'm going to go ahead and lay those all out, and I'm going to just do kind of the same pattern. I'm going to do front left 1, and I'm going to go here, and I'll do front left 2. I'll go here. Okay, and I'll just go ahead and finish that up. Okay, so now let's take a look. So when you want to review, you simply have to go into Tools, and this is your grid snap. Just so you know, if you ever wanted to snap to a certain location, you turn this on. If you want more fine precision movement, you can turn that off. This is your day and night. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Or turn back in. I'm going to turn it in night mode, and then I'm going to go ahead and play this. This is your music, and we're going to actually review the sequence. I haven't added the middle section yet, or the back section. That's why there's no lights right yet. But you will see the vocals come on. And one thing you can do is you can add lights even while the sequence is playing. So I'm going to get in here, and I'm going to add a couple floodlights in here. So go into here, click on this. I'm going to turn off grid snap. You can see it's at the vocals 1, so this light is matching the vocals. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there, and another one up there. That way that's lit a little better. Okay, that's working well. Let's put it back in the day mode, and let's add the middle section. So for that, I'm going to add, we'll go into middle 1, and we're going to go to this Christmas lights pack, and I'm going to use these GIFs right here. So I'm going to put my grid snap back on, which is right here, and I'm going to click on this, hold down Alt, drag, turn it around, and then I will put it right there. So then I go into middle 2, grab this next present, drag, spin that around. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing with this one. And then I'll do the same thing. Oh, my bad. I forgot to set the channel. So basically, if that happens, just need to select the object, delete it, click middle 3, and go ahead, drag the spinner around. Okay, and then we'll do middle 4, click on the next present, drag the spinner around, and there you go. And then finally for middle 5, I'll just I'll put this gingerbread man over here. Okay, now if you want to review that, this is going to be the violin section. So if I wanted to see that, let's try that. Click on the music button. So that's all working. Now, the one thing I want to mention is that these channels can be assigned anywhere. You can take these middle sections and you can put them on string lights across the house. You can have each window, you can have this be middle 1, middle 2, middle 3, middle, and then that way when the violins come in, it'll actually pan from the right side of the house to the left. You can do any combination you want. So continuing, I'm going to now talk about, let me add a few more lights to the lawn just to kind of fill that in a little bit. We'll put back one, we'll add this snow globe here, hold down my Alt key to kind of spin it around, and then I'll kind of raise it a little bit. And then on the same channel, I'll click on this thing, which kind of glows that a little bit. Spin it around. Now, see, this is an example. Let me scale this up a little bit. If I try to place this over here, it's going to try and place it on top. And I don't really want to do that, so I hold down my Control key. Well, I actually drop it, sorry. And then I move it into place holding my Control key so that it doesn't pick up the height of the other object. Okay. So now that's in, and is there anything else I want to add for now? I guess I could add this snowman here. Let's put this snowman here on back 2. Okay, we'll take here, spin him around, scale him up a little bit, and then we're going to add some lights to him so that he's a little more visible. We'll make it this white light. Turn off my grid snap, turn on the light, and then I'll just kind of add it right about here, maybe another one there, another one there. Okay, so now he's got some light. So those floodlights will trigger when back 2 triggers, and also the LEDs of the snowman. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the house. Okay, so there are 2 different ways of placing Christmas decorations. One is Christmas lights, one is using add Christmas lights throughout the mesh. And basically what that's going to do, it's used for trees, hedges, bushes, that exist in the library here. So don't use ones from the nature pack because they're not meant to be used for this. Use ones that actually come in the scenery pack here. See, there's a few trees here. So we might as well talk about that now. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to, I'll put it as middle 1, and you're going to click on this tree, and I'm going to hold down my left mouse key and drag it to kind of size it, and I will put it right here. And I'll click on this tree and I'll drag it to kind of, well, let me check this other one. I'll do this other one. So we have 2 different kinds. Click it, size it, put it there. Okay. Now, if I want to add lights to these, I just click on this and this add Christmas lights throughout mesh. And then I select the channel, which is middle 1, and then I go into my light pack and I click on these C9 greens, and when I touch this, it adds lights throughout the tree. And next I will go into middle 2 and I will do red and white, and I click on the tree and it adds it throughout that. Okay, now when you add lights to a tree, they don't have point lights, actual Unreal point lights, because there's just too many. These actually have point lights, but these will not. So you need to kind of go in and add your floodlights. So to do that, that's in Christmas Light 1. We were middle 1 for this, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on this floodlight, and we will put it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to night mode so I can see what I'm doing a little better. So you're going to click on this. I'm going to hold down Control key so it repeats. So I click here, 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 and here. Now I've just added 5 point lights instead of, there's 100 C9s in there. And then the same thing goes for this one. I'm going to select middle 2 because the floodlights also are triggered by the sequences. So I select middle 2, and then I click on the red, and I go here, here, holding down Control key, and then I'm going to mix this up with white. So go here, here, here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at this through the sequencing. Okay, everything's starting to work well. Okay, so let's keep this going. Okay, before I actually move on to the house, I'm going to go ahead and set the perimeter down. That's pretty easy. We're going to go into scenery, we're going to go into Christmas lights, and this object right here, I need to change the thumbnail because it's too hard to see, is a little blue LED strip light. If you click on it, it's a little blue LED strip light. It is ideal for putting around a perimeter. So I'm going to first select perimeter 1. Then I click on it. Now this is where the control key really comes in handy. So I'm going to hold down my control key and then just go right along here. Okay, so I've added all the perimeter lights along the bottom. Now is a good time to save. Don't forget to save as you go. So we're going to click, don't want to click save, it's going to overwrite your base project file. So we'll click save as, and we're going to just call this, we'll call this A2. Click save. Okay, now we're going to move on to stringing the lights on the house. So for that, we use this mesh tool to add lights to the trees. Now we're going to use the edge tool to add lights along the edges of the house. So I recommend using C9s for around this top. You don't want to use icicle lights up here because they'll just sink into the house. I recommend using C9s along here and then icicle lights along the eaves right here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go into our basic light pack. Here's the different lights. Here are the C9s. So I'm going to go ahead and go up here. And you just, this little brownish area, you just have to highlight over it and it will automatically show you when it's active. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to back 1. And you can use any channel you want, but for this we're going to use back 1. And I'm going to click on these C9s, and as soon as I put my mouse over that, it says light support, I touch it and it adds it. So I'm just going to continue moving on. Now I'm going to switch it over to back 2. And let's just say I'll put some red right here. Get a little better shot. There we go. And I think there's another inside here. Yeah. Okay, so there's some red C9s. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the icicle lights. I'll do red and white icicles on back 3. So I'll click that and then I touch right here and it adds icicle lights there. Okay, now I'm going to add white icicle lights. We'll put those here. We'll put those on back 4. And I'll do that and that and that and that. Okay, so there we have it. We're going to keep moving on. I'll continue with back 4. I'll put some lights along here. We'll do the red and white again, and we'll put that along there, and then along here, and then along there. Okay, so how easy that was. Now we'll do back 5. We'll put some white right there. Okay, and now we'll move on to the windows. So let's go ahead and we'll switch to back 6, and I will do these little C3s here. I'll kind of do that like right here, and I'll just do the top. You can do all 4 sides or just top and bottom. So I'll do that, and then I'll move on to back 7, and then I will do blue for the bottom. See how easy that is? It automatically distributes the lights for you. Okay, so I'll finish this off. Be right back. Okay, I finished the windows. Now let's just touch this up in here. I will do some, let's see, I'll go on to back 6 and I'll do some green icicles right here just for a little variety. And then I'll do back 7, do some more green icicles here and here. And then I'll just do some regular C3s. Maybe I'll do red. I'll put that there and there. Okay, so house is coming together. Okay, so finally we're going to add these kind of little special effects fire bursts. This little fire burst right here, we're going to set that as a special effect. Sorry, I hit this button by accident. Okay, we go to special effect, we use the special effect channel. We're going to click on this little fireball to scale it down, put that there, and then we'll do another one kind of over here. Okay, so I think we're all done. Now remember to save as you go. So we already set it as project A2. If you want to keep it incrementally, you can just keep track of your progress, go to A3 and click save. Okay, so that's it. So I think we're pretty much finished. We've covered everything. This is the light edge tool. Just to summarize, this is the edge tool for stringing lights along the edge of the house. This is the mesh tool for putting lights in trees. You also have bushes. You have some hedges in there. Oh, here's something I forgot. Let me go ahead and add some. I'll put back We'll use back 3. I'm going to decorate it with these little snowflakes. And I'll click on this. Let me kind of spin this around so it's at 180. I'm going to turn off my grid snap, and then I'm just going to kind of place these snowflakes around. Hold down my control key so I can just keep adding them. Okay, that's good. So there we go. I'll just hit save. You don't have to save that. Just hit save. Okay, and so once again we had the mesh. That's for adding to the mesh placement of the lights is for adding the trees and the hedges and the bushes. The edge placement is for outlining the house. You test it with this music button right here. This is your grid snap. This is your light on and off. If you want to get it ground level, you simply put it in night mode, hit the music button, and hit the play button. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click on that, and here I am at the ground. We'll go ahead and watch this. Okay, so that wraps this up. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out on Discord. Just remember that you can mix and match any of these string lights, any of these lawn decorations with any channel to create virtually unlimited combinations. Feel free to just be as creative as you want to be. For example, we never added these, some nice Christmas trees in here we can add. And another example would be to drag this tree here and kind of scale it down, hold down a control key, add a string of them like that, and then you could use this mesh light tool like we did with these trees, and we could add front right 1 through 6 instead of the lollipops, have it be these set of trees, so that when the show starts, instead of the light effect going from across, it can go across all these different trees. That's another option. There's all different kinds of combinations you can do. Feel free to experiment with different ornaments, different house lights, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody can come up with. Okay, thanks for joining in. Bye.